Greetings, online English 12 students. I'm going to make my video early. It's Friday. What day is it? November the 14th. It's a beautiful day, and I have a little bit of time, so I thought I would make my video. Okay, so you had a ton of stuff to do to kick off Frankenstein. Discussion threads, things like that. Brandy Haglin actually helped me do those things because I'm not great at creating those things yet in D2L. And then you had some background information about science and Frankenstein itself and Mary Shelley. And you should have read letters 1 through 4 and chapters 1, 2, and 3. This next 2-week block, you'll be reading chapters 4 and 5, which they go together, and there's a packet for them. And then 6, 7, and 8, which again, those go together, and there's another packet. So there'll be 2 different packets, 5 chapters, right? And then there's a piece called Ambition Bird, which is actually really good. It's a poem based on ambition, so obviously that's one of the themes in Frankenstein. Victor and Robert Walton both are very, very ambitious people. And of course, Mary Shelley is kind of warning us about being overly ambitious to the point that maybe you're obsessed and take some risks. All right, so again, 5 chapters, and then the Ambition Bird piece, so that's the 6th thing or 3rd assignment. And then there's a vocab test that you'll be taking. I think I will open that up the Tuesday before Thanksgiving break for 24 hours. And those are the words that you guys have worked on, those packets. They're not easy words. So let me talk a little bit about the story so far. I'm going to flip this around, take you to my class. I'm doing a plot summary in here. I showed part of it to you last week. So there's actually 3 different stories in this novel. Robert Walton, which we started with, he's the guy on the ship that's stuck in the ice and runs into Victor, and they become friends. Victor hears about Robert's ideas and how he's ambitious, and then warns him, says, you seek for knowledge and wisdom I once did. It'll be a serpent to sting you. So anyway, Victor starts telling him his story. So this whole part that you've been reading is actually him talking to Robert Walton about what all went on. So it starts with his childhood. He had a great childhood. His family adopted Elizabeth, so they grew up together. His mom, Caroline, was actually rescued by Victor's father because Victor's dad's best friend, who was her father, died. And so they're just nice people. And then so he has another friend named Henry. And so Henry, Elizabeth, and Victor grow up together, and I call it a triangle of friendship because they balance each other out. Victor's kind of obsessive even as a kid, very curious, whereas Henry's more your adventurous type, and Elizabeth is really nice and sweet. All right, so Victor goes off to college after his mom dies. Caroline dies of scarlet fever, I believe it was. Anyway, Victor goes off to college, and he gets super obsessed with science, like being away from his family and his friends to balance him out. He just goes cray-cray. He studies everything he can get his hands on. He meets 2 professors, Waldman and Kremp. Professor Kremp makes fun of him for studying alchemy. Like, that's really basically medieval science. It's not really even science. It's the idea. They're practicing alchemy. They had all kinds of spells they tried to cast, etc. And he practiced all that at home before he came to college. So Professor Kremp's like, really, dude, that's like not even real science. That's ridiculous. You'll have to start over. And then Professor Waldman's a little bit nicer about it and says, well, hey, those guys kind of laid the foundation of science, so, we can't really discard them. So then Victor starts learning all this stuff, and he has an aha moment, a bingo moment, where he realizes that the stuff he's learning from modern science, along with the alchemists that he studied from the Middle Ages, and he saw a lightning bolt destroy a tree at some point in his life, and he just figures out how to combine everything and using the power of lightning to create life. So he is able to do that, but he's been away from home for 2 years and studying like crazy. He's gotten really pale and thin. He says emaciated, and he has a secret laboratory that no one knows about. He starts collecting dead body parts and putting them together, and he makes an 8-foot tall creature before he brings the creature to life, he says things like, I'm going to be this great God. I will be their creator. I'm going to create a whole bunch of these people, and they will owe their happy lives to me. I'll be like their father. But as soon as the monster opens its eyes, there's my monster. Victor runs away. And you're going to see that he's in denial. A lot of times when he has problems, he runs from them, which is awful. You should never run from your problems because they chase you. Anyway, he runs away from the monster as soon as it opens its eyes, and he goes to his bedroom and tries to take a nap. And then the monster finds him, and he doesn't say, hi, Dad. At the time, he doesn't know how to talk. He's kind of like a little baby. But he reaches towards Victor. After all, it's, that is his creator, and smiles at him. And then Victor is like, oh, hell no, what have I done? And he runs away for the second time, this time out into the streets of Ingolstadt. And it's about 2 or 3 in the morning at this point, and he's losing his mind. He's like, he doesn't know what to do. And then out of the blue, a coach pulls up, and Henry Clerval, his best friend, shows up. Henry has no idea what's been going on. Victor hasn't written to his family this whole time. And it's sadly for Henry, he was all excited because he was going to go to college with his best buddy, Victor. I'm sure he had plans for, let me turn this back around. Parties and classes together and who knows what else. But instead, his friend is collapsing, and he's really sick. Victor just becomes, he almost dies, and everybody's really concerned about him. So those are chapters 4 and 5, and then 6 through 8. They're a little bit long, but everybody finds out about Victor because Henry writes to them. Elizabeth and her dad write to Victor talking about what's going on with the family, and he starts to get better slowly. Meanwhile, all this time that he's been sick, we don't know what's happened to the monster. And then, I don't want to give it all away because you haven't read it yet, but towards, I think it's chapter 7 or 8, Victor has a little brother named William, and out of the blue, William is dead. And everybody's really distraught. I think William's about 8 years old. And I'm not going to tell you how he dies or why, but it has to do with the monster and being abandoned. All right. I know that the vocabulary is tough. You can reach out to me or come by my room at any time, and I'll talk to you about it. I've been doing a lot of reading with my classes in person, and that way I can explain stuff to them in the moment. But I'm here for you too. You just have to reach out. All right. It's a great story. There's lots of themes to talk about in the end. All right. I hope you're having a great couple weeks, and Thanksgiving's coming up, so that's exciting too. You get a little bit of a break. Keep on keeping on.